Oh yeah.
All the fortune and fame and shine elevate me to brand new heights. Pray on the lows and highs. I'ma wake up.
Black Mirror P. Proves play that drive shit. I'ma say that live shit, react lyrically. Run you over like a deer. If you not dear to me, ahead of myself, it's like I'm trying to get near to me. Bull market, bear market, what it care to be. Dollar bill, digicoin, what you care to see. Me, I like both. Me, I like smoke on a yacht deck, a Wall Street bull to get the concept. Apes together strong, can't wait to get along on that rocket ship to the moon. Hitch from the bomb. Until then, I'ma see you in the Discord. We getting high and getting rich, y'all.
All the fortune and fame and shine elevate me to brand new heights. I'ma pray on the lows and highs. I'ma wake up and take what's mine. One life, you can see in my eyes. Money all on my mind. Fire burns deep inside. Still I rise. Level up to the sky. So can't go back nights I cried. All the days sacrificed. Yet I still
Never met Steve Jobs, but went to Steve's market right after the school party, finding shit I could rob. Never met Bill Gates, but got billed for the gates. In the landscape as you fly high until you land paper. Then the energy change. I'm like Neo when Trinity came. You wanna be the one, I wanna be everything. Cause everything is one when you can see everything. I get Jesus deep on the Jesus beat. Why the fuck watch the movie if the prelude's sweet? Look, dog, I'd rather the book, dog. I am plant-based, what I need you to cook for. Fuck you.
all the fortune and fame and shine elevate me to brand new heights. I'ma pray on the lows and highs. I'ma wake up and take what's mine. One life, you can see in my eyes. Money all on my mind. Fire burns deep inside. Still I rise. Level up to the sky. Can't go back nights I cried. All the days sacrificed. Yet I still rise.
What's going on? I'm not gonna lie, X rug me, and now I got to get people in here in this space because they straight up screwed me on that when they screwed the pooch. I mean, what's going on, Elon? I feel like you ain't liking me right now. But this space was actually supposed to be talking about, man. Now I have to remember what my title was since they went on ahead and cut me. Okay, so the original space was, do you know how to recharge using nature? And the reason why I bring this topic up is because daily I go outside and I actually put my feet in the grass. I walk around. I try to hang out outside as much as I possibly can because I found out also that it's based on, I guess, the amount of melanin that they say. The darker the melanin that you have, the more you should actually be outside, the longer you should be outside to be able to charge. Um, don't get me wrong, 30 minutes is good with your feet in the grass and enjoying yourself, but anything anything else above that is just on a whole nother level. It's just gonna help you have a more positive day, which is everything that we need nowadays for all the things that we stepping into. I don't know. I might be the only one talking to myself today. Uh, so I can't say that's not like different from my own personal life. I talk to myself a lot, to be honest with you. I would feel a little nervous if I met someone and they didn't talk to themselves occasionally about certain things. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to wrap it around your brain a few times, as well as the beings on the other side. Yo, Smokey, what's going on? Nice to see I'm not in here completely talking by myself right now.
Yo,
What's going on, man? X
what up,
screwed
brother?
me. They screwed me, man.
X is acting Xy.
Yeah, like I was on for like a minute and then it just clipped me and went said listen to the recording. I was like,
Oh snap.
bro. I
Okay,
mean,
okay. It
yeah.
happens, man. But I'm glad you're on, dude. Is your is your app um not updated?
What you mean as far as what?
The what are you using right now for Twitter? Like, I mean, well, for X to stream this.
I'm actually using Restream. Is it not coming out right?
Oh no, only reason why I ask is because at the bottom right hand corner, you know, it doesn't have like the comment box. It's a little plus sign that just like tweets out the spaces link.
You know what? I'm very new to this Restream, so there's a lot of things I'm still learning. I just
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? I just figured out the fact that I could like set this up and stream it, and it was actually streaming it. When I got clipped from X, I went and looked, and I was like, "Oh, dang, my music played and everything." I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, okay, I see what's up." So I'm still trying to figure this thing out, man.
You know, I got you. I
That's
got you.
that's all I can say.
I was a little scared, man. I was hoping you didn't get discouraged by being alone for 2 minutes. I was like, oh man, I just got here, and I don't see like I see like the spaces were shut down in 2 minutes. I was like, nah, Jonathan can't be getting discouraged like this. But good to hear that it wasn't you. It's Xing as usual, as it has been the past like week and a half or 2 weeks.
Yeah, it got Liz last Friday. I think it was last Friday. It clipped the space and or no, that was the Friday I wasn't there. It was the Friday before that. It did the same thing to her. It just clipped her out when she was in the middle of her space. So I don't know what's going on. I ain't mad at it. I mean, it is what it is. It's Monday, so you get those Monday situations.
Yeah, happy Monday, my friend. Happy Monday.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Another week to do it up big. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
What's going on? Is that Tim? Tim and
Hey,
Jay?
Jonathan.
What's
Yeah, I
going
wanted to
on?
come in. Thanks for Get Hype. He brought people over. So even though I got to get on to other work, but you know what? This is work. And I just want to come in, hang out, be supportive. So thank you for giving me another room to jump into, give some feedback to, and anything I can do now to be supportive to your topics. That's exactly what I'm here to do. And Get Hype, thank you for telling people to come over to his space. And once again, all love to the community doing your thing, man. Good morning. Good morning.
Man, I appreciate that. Much gratitude. Much gratitude. I like support. I would have talked to myself for at least 30 minutes and then I would have clipped it. Because I just would have been talking like random stuff. I tell people if I don't have nobody in the space, I'm going complete Bill Burr on y'all. Y'all gonna hear some crazy thoughts that come out of my head. So you want people to be in here with the conversation.
Did you say Bill Burr?
Oh yeah, that's my dude. That's my favorite. That's my
I
favorite
love
dude.
Bill Burr, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Because his podcast is what gave me the idea. I still want to do a podcast also, but it was like, hold up, he been talking to himself for an hour and a half. Like, okay, I do the same thing as him. I just don't record myself. So I was like, yeah, this is a good idea. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Jay
Yeah,
Connects?
GM, good to see you again, brother. I had to come support your space. Hello, everybody in the room. But yo, I have a question to ask you guys. 'Cause this has been happening to me lately with X. I keep getting randomly logged out of my JConnects account. Like only this one, no other account. I have like three other accounts, but I keep getting logged out of the account that's verified. How does this make sense? At first, I
That's
thought
actually been
maybe
happening to Marcus lately as well, man. I don't know. I think it's something with X. Um, X has been acting a bit funky. I haven't been able to see like right now. It shows that you're a listener as well as Tim. So,
really.
yeah, man, it's been weird.
yeah. The more
Yeah.
you do, the
Yeah.
harder hit you take. So you're doing something right with this account. Same with myself. We're getting verified, which means it's more credibility. So the less credible you are, the more you can get away with, but the less you can prove. So good job to being able to prove your footprint. I'm behind you on it, 1,000%, man.
Thank you. I would just employ everyone to attach their phone numbers on here. I
Ooh,
remember
don't do that.
I
Don't do that,
was
Jay.
well. Let me explain. Let me explain why.
No,
Right.
you shouldn't.
I'm not gonna bash any particular, you know, brand or whatever that told me to take it off. But there was a time I was in space and someone told me to take my phone number off, and I listened, and then like a month later, I almost lost my account because I got logged out. It couldn't verify me, just like what's happening right now. But luckily for me, I was home and I had my other device that I was logged into, and I was able to add my phone number to it to do an authentication verification and get back in. But I know people that was in that space that took off their phone number and listened to that project, which is nothing wrong with that. Do what you want to do, and now they can't get back in. The
Yeah, that
password has been
sucks.
changed. So whoever logged them out or whatever logged them out, they can't log back in because the password changed because the phone number wasn't attached.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I haven't had any problems with that, but both times I didn't have my account hacked, it was through my telephone number. So I totally understand why he says not do that. I am logged in on 4 devices, so I don't have a problem with. I've never had it like log me out. Now, when it was having that glitchy time, which was probably like a few months ago, there was a lot of us getting kicked out of they seeing if we a bot or whatever, which is just retarded. But yeah, no, it's a wild thing that they trying to work through these glitches and things like that. But I ain't gonna lie, shout out to Michael K and Wallet Guard because they have saved me many times with me getting social engineered and somebody getting my account.
So I looked it up on AI, Gemini. I put in whatever it said as far as like I've been JConnects. Oh, JCode 86 has been logged out. Error. That was the message I got, right? So I plugged it into Gemini and I was like, what does this mean? According to X, and it gave me. I'm gonna put exactly what it said in the comment section. But it basically said, if there's like, you know, if you have to clear off your cache, that could be a reason why. It could be too many attempts, too many like suspicious attempts in terms of activity on your account. So too many people have been trying, or someone's been trying to access your account. So what it does is it automatically logs everyone out. Whoever's been attempting to try to get in, everyone gets logged out. And then I recently spoke to a friend who I haven't heard from in a while. She said her business account has been the password has been changed and she can't get back in. So and she didn't have her phone number attached to it. Now I hear what you're saying. Like you've been hacked before with your phone number. It is what it is. But I would just suggest to everybody have more than one device on hand, just in case this does happen to you. That you have other ways to get in. Because once you get logged out of that phone, if you're not logged into anything else, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I got like 4 of them. Now, is anybody saying that Love Louie is a speaker or a listener? Because it just shows his hands is raised, but it's showing
Listener,
listener on mine.
Showing listener for me as
So
well.
how in the
listener,
world is he raising his hand like that then?
I
It's
don't see a
crazy.
hand from him. I see a hand for Tim.
Because
I
I
see,
got it.
Not for him.
I see it on my screen.
Yeah, I just want to jump in on this, but I don't want to interrupt because it's so important.
Nah,
But
you
when it comes
good.
to, thank you, Jay, what you said about the phone number, now you just said something that's very important to my mission, and thank you for all of that. So for me, I've been putting the main number out because not only is it a business number that I want global, you're absolutely right. It's attached to another avenue of getting hacked. If anybody looks me up, my metaverse is down. Just like other hackers, you could see what happened. It's even the same code, this NEP underscore a bunch of numbers posted something. I violated community standards, and it's all BS, by the way, on the background. There's somebody else doing it because I have fought for Facebook many times. They fought for me, and there's a different backstory to the whole thing. So, Jay, that's it. And I found my number was disconnected from it. I went and verified myself because I should have never been logged out to be able to pay. They took my store down. And this whole time, I'm barely able to engage because I got ripped off through Facebook. So I'm barely able to even conduct business because I'm trying to get all these analytics and everything right The platforms are right, so they're just now starting to establish it. So to land my plane on this one, since I've been winded, thank you. It's about the number, and I'm trying to use it as much as possible in the right way, but list it as a business number, everybody. Don't do this with your personal number. So I agree with you, Jonathan. I'm not speaking against you at all. And Jay, I agree with you, all in the
Good
same
deal.
sense. So you know I'm not being hypocritical here since I have a business number and personal. I feel that we should be able to get a cell phone, and we should be able to have business and personal on the same number. I should be able to list it on the internet, and I should be able to call anyone and have a personal conversation 1 minute and have a business conversation the next. And AI should know the difference, and I shouldn't be tracked and categorized for my personal life versus my business life. And so I know that invites a bunch of code and attacks on the behavior of the phone number. So thank you for attaching yours, and sorry if you're going through some things, but at least you're in this forefront of the wave. And yeah, hopefully we can blast a way through with our footprint and our phone numbers, so as hackers keep coming through, we're authentic, and then the ones who don't have that got to go through that fight. We now went through it, but since I'm being winded, I hope it works for everybody else too. So all love.
Tim, it's crazy because I literally was on the phone with somebody talking about exactly what I was going through, and after that phone call, maybe 5 minutes later, I got logged out of my account.
Yes.
Like I had the screenshot of like, there's no way, bro. And I just sent myself a text, got right back into it. And that's how I got back in. But I know someone that's still going through it to this day, and they have hella shit attached to it. And this is actually the person I'm talking about is a musician. They have a hell lot of conversations and collaborations in those DMs they have no access to.
It's
Like,
killing me, bro. It's absolutely killing me. I'm barely surviving, barely eating just to afford to stay on top, borrowing. It's insane, but I'm fighting through it, and thank you.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I hope all y'all come through with your situations and everything evens out for you. We gonna get back to brunch before lunch because this episode I now have to look it up because X screwed me, which is, do you know how to recharge using nature? That's what this conversation is about today. I don't know if anybody got any input, please let me know. But I will tell you that I recharge every day, except in the winter, only because, oh my God, taking off your shoes and walking in the crusty, crunchy grass is very painful for one. So I don't do that. But if you got hardwood floors, that works the same. But I did read up and found out that depending on how much melanin you have in your skin will determine how much length of time you really should be outside to really recharge like your body, your aura and everything. So the darker you are, the longer you need to be outside, um, which I found very interesting and cool at the same time because I'm usually outside just sitting out there smoking cigars or watching a movie or just laying on the ground high as hell, looking at the clouds go by and watch them change into different stuff. So it's actually been really fun to actually be outside and utilize it for what it needs to be used for, as well as just fun. Sometimes you just want to sit outside, man, not want to do nothing. I don't know if y'all got y'all hands raised or they stuck right there. So if you got comments, just go in and let me know.
I don't see any hands.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like it's weird on my end. I'm just gonna roll with it. Shit. Fuck it. Like I said, it's Monday. Um that
It
just
might be
seems
VPNs. Sorry, no, cut you off. Sorry.
nah, you good. It just seems to be that's just what it is. It doesn't bother me that much. It's just now I know that y'all's hands see like Louis keep getting his he keeps raising his hand, but he's not raising his hand on my screen. It's crazy today. I'm happy. It's got me laughing. I'm not mad about it. I just find it funny how this happened today. All the spaces were great. People were on point. And then I come up to my space and it's just like, hold up, you kicked me out of X? Like you kicked my space out? You put me straight to recording?
Well, at least
Like,
I know it's not from me this time,
hey,
Jonathan.
yeah, you know
At
what?
least I know it ain't me this
I
time.
did come out of your space and then it happened to me. So, you know, I don't know. I'm not gonna put it on you. I ain't gonna put it on you. I'm just saying.
Oh man, that's. I mean, I'm just. I don't know, man. I think Gronk got beat for me, so sorry.
I
I
told
think
you,
it's
man.
VPNs.
I don't have a VPN.
What up, everybody? What up, Smokey? Welcome. What up, Jay and Tim? Everyone's back in the house. Yeah, I like to go to the beach, man, and put my feet in the sand. Oh, that's the fucking best to ground myself back. Yeah, that's how I ground myself.
Yeah, the sand is very nice. Anything dealing with earth, man. Like when I sit down and have a cup of coffee and smoke a cigar, I literally sit there and watch nature. I watch what birds are coming by that I normally don't see. I literally watch like two yellow jackets, pollinate flowers right on in the flower bush every single morning. Same ones, and they fly right by my face, fly in my face, and then they fly away. They do that literally every morning. So it gives me inspiration. So if y'all ever hear me give some kind of post about bees every time, it's because they did something that morning that like sparked a thought that I had to get out of inspiration. But it's yellow jackets, and I don't know. It's just cool to sit and watch nature for me a lot of times. I get a lot of inspiration, a lot of good ideas, as well as I get rid of a lot of, built up energy because a lot of people don't realize that also. Going outside, walking in the grass with your shoes off, you actually discharge a lot of built up energy in your body that you build up being around people, electronics, and different stuff like that. So sometimes when people be like super stressed out and they be really, really tense, if they just take their shoes off and go walk in the grass for like at least 30 minutes, it will discharge all the energy that they have built up. And if you're an empath, then you're taking on more energy than most people on the planet, and you just store it. And so sometimes your thoughts, or sometimes you might be feeling cool, you're feeling happy, great about life. You get around certain people and their energy is all negative. It gets onto you, and then the same great thought you had about great stuff you're doing in your life, you start hearing this other voice where it's just like, oh man, I don't know if you could do that. You sure you ready for that kind of stuff? So if I even hear that, I automatically go outside and walk in the grass because I know I have to discharge the energy from certain people out of my body. Now, I do a lot of things now. I do some hoodooing stuff where, I make my sprays that I put on myself. It turns out I found out from a woman that you can actually retrace your natal chart. So like the day you were born, the time you were born, what moon was out, what phase was the moon when you were born, you have essential oils that are connected to that, and you can actually make your own spray for yourself so that it protects you when you go out. And I could say that it doesn't work, but it does. It does work because I make mine either out of moon water or rainwater. Right now I have the Rose of Jericho, which is a resurrection plant, plants out of Africa. So when it dries up, when it's drought, it'll actually ball up into a ball. And then whenever the water comes back out, it rains, it'll flower back out. It'll do this forever. So what I was told to do was get the Rose of Jericho, put it in a thing of water, and let it bloom out, and then put change as well as some crystals in there. And every day when I get up, I do my prayers, but I splash a little bit on me. Um, and you only can have it sitting in water for 3 days, and then you got to change it. So every time that I take the water out, I put it in another bottle, and that's what I use for my sprays as well. And it really does help because I got in a conversation with my daughter's mom before I left Oklahoma, and I had to tell her that me and my daughter were leaving. So I sprayed myself down before I even got out, before I left the house. So we sit in the car in the driveway, and for some reason, I just felt like I was shielded. Like I could feel like daggers being thrown at me, like energy from her. And I mean, I really could feel it, like somebody was taking little knives and just throwing them at me, but it wasn't touching me. It's like my bubble was so strong and so wide, it just felt like little pieces of rain droplets hitting. And as soon as she touched me, I said, "Hey, I'm getting out of this car. I don't want to get that energy on me." So it actually does work. It's a really cool thing to look into. I look in a lot of occult type things because that's just what I'm into. It's what I was born into, and it's just It's just who and what I am. I'm very comfortable in that world, but I try to help as many people as I can to understand that, for one, occult means hidden knowledge. It's not anything spooky about it. And two, these things have been around since people have been on the planet. So why not use it to your advantage, to make your life better as well as the people around you? You know, it does make you feel a lot better, uh, feel on point. You notice things that other people might not notice, um, because they won't be as tapped in as they possibly could be. And it's really helped me get to this point right now that I am talking to y'all and having the confidence to be able to talk about this stuff on here. Because talking to people out in the world face to face, I've been doing that forever since I was like 18 and I got on this path. But being on here talking about it, yeah, I was very nervous about it. Like, I read tarot cards and, all kinds of stuff. So it's a fun world, in my eyes, to be in, because it connects to me to my ancestors from before. I don't know if anybody has any things they want to say about that. They can, and talk about what they do to ground and help themselves get out of that negative into a positive.
Just one quick thing on that. I always take my shoes off and go outside like you're talking about and ground to the grass. And I'll walk up to a tree. And yes, if you're very empathic and if you get in tuned to being very hypersensitive, you can feel that vibration. And since the trees are really connected to the ground and they carry signal just like everything else, it's alive. I'll literally just put my palms on the tree and just meditate with the tree, the ground, the grass, and feel everything drain and let it go and know that it's not bad. I'm giving the ground what it wants. I'm giving the plants and the grass and everything that it wants. It wants my negative energy because the plants and plant life, their negative energy is my positive energy because we complement each other on the yin yang side. Really love what you're saying.
You are 100% correct. People used to make fun of tree huggers, but that's just what it is, man. Like, I don't they don't they don't understand that there is a difference between living in a wooded area and living in a city that's nothing but concrete and buildings. You have no way to discharge the energy that's being built up. So everybody stays tense. They stay worked up. But if they had more trees around, it would be more helpful. Now, I stay in Winston-Salem in North Carolina. I might be in the urban area in the city, but there are trees everywhere. There's deer everywhere. I literally saw a beaver over the summer at the abandoned house next door. This fool walked up to the house, went and got some wood out of the basement, and he's sitting in the back. Now, I've been meditating over here in the grass at this house, but he's sitting over there in the back, chewing on wood, just watching everything like he having popcorn, like he's been there, like he lives there, like that's his house. Some dogs walk by, they look at him, he look at the dogs. He was out there for like an hour and a half, and I know he was because I was out there for an hour and a half watching him, wondering what where the hell am I? Like, am I in the nexus of something? There is a freaking beaver out here just straight chilling, like he paid rent there or something. It's crazy. uh, now go ahead,
Thank you.
Tim.
I just want to say thank you for sharing. It's excellent, the perspective you're giving and how important it is.
I mean,
I need to go out and discharge. I need to thank you for reminding me. Sorry.
hey man, it's really it's really needed. I've done the whole, like, working night shift and stuff like that. That was what I did for many years, and I turned into a night person. Like, I hated looking at the sun. I hated being up in the morning. I used to do all my shopping at Walmart at nighttime, not during the day. So when I actually changed over to being up in the morning and having a job that was from morning time, like a 9 to 5, it changed a lot of things in me. And I stopped being so much of a night person. And don't get me wrong, I was born a night owl and I was born with insomnia. So that's just not gonna go away. And I've used it to my advantage having it my whole life. But the daytime, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is called brunch before lunch. So I do enjoy day drinking as well. Don't get it twisted. It's much better to be a little tipsy in the daytime and funner than it is at nighttime. Less crazy people out, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, and you know you cycle better when you wake up with gravity, the sun. the way that the universe cycles together around the planet. The older you get, you feel it more too. When you're younger, you don't feel it as much because of adrenaline. But that's awesome that you made the change on that.
Oh yeah, man. I started at 18 of a life of drugs and partying, ditching school, and my friends started going to jail. Like I had a couple of friends, they had hits out on them. So I hit the plane, flew back to North Carolina, and I had started working on myself at 18 and said I want this to be my path. So that's what I've been doing. This is 23 years, which is why I have to get me a Michael Jordan's jersey, a North Carolina Michael Jordan's jersey, like before this year is over with, to like commemorate that I've been doing this for 23 years, and I'm still going on this path. No matter what anybody tells me, no matter if somebody tells me crazy or thinks what I do is stupid or anything like that, to have my confidence in that, because the people that wanna that vibe with me, that understand and go in the same direction I am, same mindset, they're gonna gravitate towards me like a magnet. So that's all I'm focused on right now, and just having fun, because I'm a very meticulous ones and zeros kind of person. For one, I'm a Capricorn. For another, I got ADHD, which is goes back and forth at times, but I can get super hyper focused, and I'm trying to break out of that and actually spend more time in nature. So I started taking my daughter with me. We going kayaking this week, which we've never done that before. But we got to bundle up because the mornings are becoming cold now. 50 degrees and stuff like that. And you're on the water, it's gonna be a little colder, but we still gonna go do it. Screw it.
Oh, dude, you just said how like I'm an asshole by accident because that's exactly it. If you don't have that comfortability, um, like I try to be real with people because I don't want you to think I'm bullshitting you because I'm used to people being nice to sell me something or BS, and I'm want to make sure you know that I'm being real with you. And here I think I'm being serious, and I don't realize that I come off mean because I'm used to the world being very harsh and it's just natural. And I'm not even disparaged. I just have but I do have a lot of friends who have been there, especially. And so I like your story about the plane because I remember sitting on a couch and making a decision and I moved and went to school and everybody started dying and going to jail. So I love your story.
Oh yeah, man. I've done I can probably write a few books over my life so far, but I will say I was actually born an asshole. Because my father, well, God rest his soul, he was an asshole, but we are very charming assholes. I found out how much of an asshole I was to people because I me been doing it for so long, when I was a lot younger. I didn't realize, the effects that it was having on people until I talked to those friends much later in life, when I had more emotional maturity and, worked through some stuff in my life. And they were like, I was like, you know what? I want to apologize for me being an asshole. And they were like, I'm so glad you said that. Thank you. Because yeah, you were asshole for like just no apparent reason. I was like, yeah, I was going through some stuff. So I apologize. So I amended a lot of stuff with friends, which is a part of your process to actually heal. You have to amend the things in your past that you realize that you done was wrong to people. If you see those people, be honest with you, don't go all out your way to go actually try to find somebody to make amends with them. And the reason why I say that is because if they're supposed to come back around in your loop to close it out, because I use that term on here, closing out loops. If they come in your loop to close it out, then that was supposed to be a part of your path or your crucible or whatever, your penance. But if you don't run into them, then it turns out they might have done some stuff to you too, that might have been worse. So there, you might not need to have a conversation with them about that. It's just a factor of noticing those things and understanding them and believing it. Um, I'll be honest with you. I hear little voices in my head too. I am not schizophrenic or split personality or any of that. I am super, super tapped in with the other side, and they speak to me all the time, like all the time. Yeah, you can't get them to be quiet. They're everywhere. Um, so if I'm wrong, they'll definitely tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. We're hard on others when we're hard on ourselves, and that's what I've learned is I'm not trying to be an asshole to get up on anybody or over. I'm so hard on myself, and I don't want anyone to see me as what I don't want to portray to others, that I wind up being that person beating myself up, and somebody else is going, dude, you're just way too much. And it's like I'm having a moment before even having a moment. It's like, oh, and people don't understand that, but it's not their fault, it's mine. And I don't know if that was part of it, maybe for you, but definitely for me. And either way, wonderful story.
Oh yeah, I grew up in a house with all women. No father around. I never hated my father, and the reason, as I got older, I realized even more of why I didn't hate him. I didn't hate him because I would be just like him right now instead of being a chain breaker of my family and doing something the men on my father's side have never done before. So I have no reason to be mad at him. It is what it is. I like I tell people I consider myself a complete man because I was taught a lot of things of more of the feminine emotion, at least till I was like 18. And I had to learn all that stuff. I had to learn about the woman cycles and women products and everything. And my mom told me one day, she said, you could possibly end up being a single father or end up with a mother who doesn't know these things. And she called my future because I got both of them. I end up being a single father to my daughter. And her mother didn't teach her those womanly things. I'm the one that taught her that. So she knew what she was talking about, right off of the bat, and I appreciate her for that. So me working through a lot of stuff, I've learned a lot of, I don't want to call them tricks, but I learned a lot of methods to work through your pain, even if you by yourself, at times, because we don't always we can't always get help every time. But there are things that you can do to actually go through it and come out better on the other side. Because I could tell you, well, I don't know that, but anything I tell somebody is something I actually have done. Nothing that is just like, oh, well, I just read about that. I've done it. But that's the thing. Someone has to go through it so it can help someone else when they do go through it. Because no matter what, people are going to go through stuff regardless. But if they had nobody that went through the same thing or anything close to them to be able to talk to, then a lot of times they ain't going to make it out because they have nothing to reference to. They have nothing to show them that me going through this, I get on the other side, I could be better off like where they are, because a lot of things are done for us, not to us. We just assume that it's done to us, but if you can really get yourself like centered and more quiet of the mind and spirit, you will actually see and be able to connect all the dots that what led you to that point, which leads you to the next. But your past will definitely come around until you close that loop out because it's gonna see like, hold up, I know you ready. I see you out there doing your thing, but let's see, are you still headstrong enough when I bring this loop back around? Are you gonna close this loop back out? Or we're gonna take another ride again around this loop again and we'll see down the road if you ready. So right now, that's what I say on every show. That's what I've been doing, closing out my loops.
That's exactly what I'm doing, and I'm struggling to go live. I'm almost there, but you're right. Um, you got to really be comfortable and have that vibration in place. Otherwise, um, it doesn't have the right foundation.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I like to help anybody. Like I'll help anybody with any of this stuff. I've helped a lot of projects with helping people get, more excited with actually being on stage because all I had to do is transfer how I am in public on here. But I've been talking on stages for like 3 years now. I did public speaking with my daughter's school, teaching her about the Civil Rights Act of 1866. And then the crystal store that I go to, they just asked me to teach some classes over spirituality and how to pull yourself out of the darkness. So it just keeps going. My problem doing things now that really isn't my problem. My problem that I've been working on is actually taking in and absorbing the energy from those step ups. When you get a victory, you're supposed to take in that energy and how you feel and really feel the excitement and let yourself really dream of what's possible. But what happens to a lot of us, which I'm still working through it myself, is that we have all the negative stuff that people have said to us over the years when we try to do other things. Those little people kind of creep back in your head every time you have a victory to try to like, it's like residue or leftover energy that you have to push past. And eventually those voices become whispers and then they just go away. And man, I'm saying too much, but that's
No, you dropping dimes, brother. You can just keep on preaching. Preach on through.
I appreciate that. That's really what I've come to find out in my life is that those voices you work on to get them to go away, and anybody can do what I can do. Maybe not to the degree of like the spiritual stuff that I'm capable of doing, but anything with being able to work through stuff, I didn't have nobody around at times. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a single dad for real. Like one day it was 50-50 custody, and then the next day it was you need to come get your daughter. So I had to come get her. We had to go through it. Like we were butting heads for real. But it has worked out over time. And I probably had like two people that could help me through all those years, almost 5 years of me having her. Because a lot of times we had this was our daily schedule, okay, Monday through Friday. It was me up at 4, get my Tai Chi in and meditation. We get her ready for school. Then I gotta drive over to my job by 6 o'clock, get my truck loaded because I was a lead appliance installer for high end appliances. Get all my stuff loaded for the day. Drive her over to daycare so she can go to daycare. The daycare would take her to school, and I had to be done by the time she got out of school, so I could be up there to pick her up from school, and then take her home, feed her, then take her to dance class because she signed up for competition dancing. So I was a dance dad too for like 2.5 years, and that was our schedule like Monday through Friday. The weekends we had to get up early every weekend to do dance classes in the morning. I had to take trips, dance trips for her competition, and I know there were a lot of fathers that were like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we're doing it," but then they're not they like really checked out when they were there. I was not. I was there at every practice, even though I might have fallen asleep in the truck, but I was there at every practice. I was there at every recital, and I got to sit there and watch these girls that started with my daughter, how they were dancing before and how they progressed to be even better at these competitions. And it was great. And I had a moment for the last season that my daughter did. There was this lady, we sat beside each other at one of the competitions, and she like started getting teary-eyed. And I'm like, I looked beside her, I'm like, what? I heard a voice say, ask her what's going on. So I asked her, I was like, are you okay? And she said to me, she was like, "Well, my mom passed last year, and this is what we used to do together." So I heard another voice said, "Just give her a hug." So I gave her a hug, and we sat there and laughed and enjoyed the entire dance competition. And that was just that was great that I could do that for her. But I do that. I've done that for a lot of people. You have no idea how many hugs I gave out to elderly women during COVID because they hadn't hugged their family in like a year. I had no fear of catching it. I ain't been sick in 18, I know, 23 years, matter of fact. So I wasn't worried about it at all. But I try to, if I hear a voice tell me to do something nice for somebody, then I go and do it. And there's a reason for that. I don't think about it. I don't question it. I just do it. Because I'm told to. And it may sound crazy to some people, but you can call it intuition or you can call it whatever you want to call it. But those little tidbits that I do make me feel better as well as the person who I'm doing it for. Even in the timeline, there's random people in this timeline that I'll hear a voice say, you should send them a message. So I'll make a comment underneath one of their posts. That doesn't mean that we gonna be friends or we gonna follow each other, but sometimes people just need that. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people are so caught in their head and they're so caught in their own personal life that they don't understand that you are pure radiation walking around of negativity, and you're demolishing people that you go around. You don't even have to say anything. A person that is high radiation of negative energy just has to come in a room And I know all of y'all have experienced that where the room is doing great, everybody's laughing, joking, having a good time. This one person walks in and it's like the air gets thick and like it feels like all the light and everything just got sucked out of the room. And it's because
It's
they,
usually me.
oh, I can see that. I can see that. People do that though, and that's another reason why I have those sprays. Is because I shield myself when I go outside. I have to. I'm an empath. I pick up people's energy. If something's bothering someone, I can hear them calling out that something's bothering them. That is a lot of pressure on me because sometimes I get busy and I forget. But a lot of times, like even between me and my two sisters, I consider us the Trinity because two girls and one boy. I'm the only boy out of my father's lineage, nothing but sisters. So if one of us is not feeling right, I can feel which one of us ain't feeling right. And I call them and we talk and we both work through stuff in our life just in that one phone call. And then we feel better. You know what I'm saying? Like I got depressed from a project that I had to be honest about that wasn't what would I say, on the level. So I had to pull back from it. Well, I got really depressed like for months about it because it was like it felt like a really big break. Like I really like made it at that point and it just fizzled out. And my sister talked to me one day for like an hour because we were living together at the time. And the energy that I'm on right now that y'all see me on, I've been rocking with that from that day last June, and that's what I've been rolling with. My sister gave me that type of boost, and it's been great. I just want to do that for everybody else. I don't know if y'all got y'all's hands up, but I'm rambling over here, so go ahead and say something. Oh, I'm rambling like hell. I know y'all don't just want to hear me talk the whole time.
I don't, bro. I don't mind it. I'm over here mowing the lawn right now. Just listening to this, like your perspective on things. To be honest with you, and I agree with you, bro. I 100% agree. And I didn't know you had that.
Say what that I didn't hear the end of that. You kind of broke up. Oh,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm bugging. I just wanted to say, when it comes to like you mentioning about you reading cards and like the cult thing and all of that, yeah, I'm not about that. But in terms of like putting your feet in grass, like being outside, fresh, taking in the fresh breath of air and nature, it does do something to your emotions. I definitely agree with that side of things, and I'm outside mowing the lawn right now, but I prefer to be outside for at least 2 or 3 hours a day, if possible, in good weather. I mean, I live up north, so time for me, but I have to make that time. It's not about I have to make that time to do that, like every morning, if possible. So that's like a personal journey. Hey, could you stop barking for a second? I'm trying to have a conversation here. Just for 1 second. Just stop barking. Thank you. Um, but yeah, just keep doing your thing, bro. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, I know everybody's not into what I'm into. That's the reason why I don't tell a lot of people. Well, I didn't used to tell a lot of people. Now I just don't give a shit. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It is what it is. You either think I'm worshiping the devil or something crazy, or you don't. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I was I was chosen to do this. This isn't something that I went looking for. This is something I literally had to. I was literally chosen to do this, and I'm willing to take the charge. And the reason is because when I was a kid, they used to call me like little preacher, amongst other things, and I always hated that connotation because even before I was even born, my mom always said that every time she even went in a church, I used to go crazy because it's just something that was never connected to me. It never felt like anything for me. But when I start getting into like nature and learn things about herbs and deep meditation and learning how to astral project and really tap into the other side, like actually go there. It kind of changed things for me. But I will tell you one thing: you do not want a crash course on tapping into that without a real guide, because my Tai Chi instructor, rest in peace, Sonji, um, for the Tai Chi studio, I read this book called Ninja Mind Control. And I was always into stuff like that. So I read the book and I followed everything it said that you should do, right? So I'm sitting there meditating. I'm doing the breathing techniques that they teach you to slow your heart rate down. So I'm doing all that. And next thing you know, my eyes are closed. There's like a pitcher, almost like a pitcher of water, but it was like a pitcher of like rainbow color. And it was going from my right eye over to my and dumping in my left eye. And this through the whole meditation for 30 minutes, right? When I open my eyes, I could see energy coming off of everything: the dog, the radio, the table, flowers, my mom. This went on for an hour. I was losing my mind, right? And it finally went away, which was great. But then I asked my Tai Chi instructor, I was my master, I was like, I told him what happened. He said, he stepped back. He was like, "Really? That's what really happened to you?" I was like, "Yeah, that's what really happened." He said, "Do you know it took me 25 years to get to this, to get to that level, to do that? And you did that in one session reading a book?" He was like, "You have no idea what kind of a level you jumped to from just from the ground." He was like, "But the difference is I know how to cut it on and off. You don't know how to do that." He said, "So that part takes time." I always read books over things like that, and try stuff out, because I don't really listen to people when it comes to things like that. I'll try it out. If it goes wrong, then I know. But if I don't try it out, then I'll never know anything. So I keep
Can I
trying
jump in on
stuff.
that? Can I jump in on it before it goes too far?
Yeah, no, no, go ahead.
Thanks. I don't want to interrupt, but yeah, otherwise, it'll go, the conversation will go way past, and I'll like comment on something like 2 minutes ago. This is perfect. Like, you're officially the first person now on the internet, which is perfect because there's no way we would have met in the real world. There would have been too many middle people in the middle and different personalities that would have phased out the chance, along with actual physical distance, to meet. So this is perfect. Number one. Number two, it's because I talk a lot about Tai Chi and being in the body versus and in the mind. You know the difference. And that was the big thing was about being in the body, and this whole experience of sharing information, what is psychological. There's a whole aspect of that kind of blurs together of being in the body versus being in the mind, especially on the internet when you have an avatar or a picture of a person like right here in these spaces. So it's almost like we're talking to all of our subconscious before our cerebral cortex at any given moment, just because it feels like a confessional box, or at least to me. And you talked about having also that other past religious structure, which I was grown up into as well. And all these things play a role in these understandings. And it makes me even say and because it shouldn't be said, right? And I'm glad you said that earlier, but that lets me know that you're on the precipice of being at the forefront of future in your think tank, in your mind, and what you're projecting, and being able to assess. And so this is very important to me, the conversation. I was worried about, usually when I bring this topic, it either fizzles out or it mic drops and others want to go elsewhere. But thank you for making it the forefront of the conversation.
Ah, no problem, man. I've gotten a lot of those getting up to this point, and years back, that's exactly what you get. You get crickets because nobody in the room is like, I don't know what the hell he talking about. I've never tried any of that stuff he's talking about, but it's all right. If I didn't push through that so many years doing it, then I wouldn't have got to this point right now. So I'm grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? But it's that Tai Chi thing got me. What got me into Tai Chi was the fact that I watched a black and white video. It was over a documentary over this little elderly Asian guy. He was over in China, and he was very sickly, like ill. Like he couldn't get his body together. Like he never felt right. He started doing Tai Chi, and they showed his videos of how strong he had gotten, like his core, doing horse stands and um doing different types of qigong and body hardening. And I was like, man, this is, oh no, I want to learn this because it it actually slows down or almost reverses the aging process because what you're doing is you're actually cultivating, you're pushing out energy when you practice, right? But you're taking in energy from everything around you as well when you stop. So if anybody has seen Dragon Ball Z, when Goku pulls in that spirit bomb, when he starts pulling energy from the nature, that's exactly what you do when you start doing actual tai chi and you go outside. You become a battery. You start soaking up energy. But I saw that and I was like, man, I want to learn that. How about when I was 18, I was on the bus downtown. Right, I rode right past it, and I heard a voice in my head say, "Look to the right." I looked to the right, y'all. There was this big ass red sign with white letters that said Tai Chi classes, free Tai Chi class. I went in there and learned Tai Chi, and I was like, this is lovely. And I fell out of it for a couple of years, but I'm back at it now. I feel more at peace, more energy, and I'm able to sense things a lot earlier now than I could before. So it's it's been a it's been a fun and interesting road, I would say, but it ain't never gonna stop.
Well, thank you for the insight on it because it's all about energy and channeling, and I think that's the hardest, at least for me, the hardest to balance because if if I can't be comfortable with who I am, then I have to think while I'm doing things, and it doesn't work. I have to be able to flow, and I like to relate it to riding a bike. That way, it's not always relating to fighting, instead of if you think you're dead, which I agree. But to keep it positive, I like to really relate it to a motorcycle. If I constantly am thinking about what I'm doing, I'm liable to overcompensate, this and that, wreck. But if I just feel the bike and go with it and know what I'm doing, um, I should have the confidence to be fine because I have to ride the bike. It can't ride me. And that all comes back to being able to trust yourself. And I've learned the hardest challenge, at least for me, is if I can't truly resonate with who I am in the mirror, well, how can I trust myself to be on that bike? And then, furthermore, as an artist, right? How am I going to project myself to everybody and really resonate and have them feel me? Because if people can't feel me on an emotional level, then what am I delivering? I'm just delivering music or an opinion or something I'm writing or doing. At least that's my opinion. I think that if you can't feel me, why would you want my art? And if I can't be honest with myself, how can I be honest with you? And I think all that comes back to, do you know your energy and can you feel it? And I think you're articulating it very, very well.
I appreciate that. Gratitude on that. Yeah, it's that people can feel it, man. You right about that because some two people could do the same song, but one of them you're gonna feel more than the other is because you can feel that emotion. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Being an empath on certain things is not fun. I'm gonna be honest with you. Anything dealing with pain or movies of people being murdered or whatever, I can feel all that. It feels like I'm being stabbed and all that other stuff. That part kind of sucks. But the part that feels great is all those movies where there's like a family dynamic, those really wholesome movies, those are really great feelings that I hold on to anytime that I feel, down or depleted in some kind of way. It's been very helpful. Now I ain't gonna lie, to this day, after my journey of healing myself from my past um wounds and traumas, man, to this day, if there is a father daughter movie of any kind, I will get teary eyed every single time. I cannot stop it. Because my daughter, even at 15 years old, still gives me at least 10 to 20 hugs every day. And I love it because she started doing that when she was a little girl, and the fact that she's 15 years old and she still does that. Every time I see one of the movies with them little kids and they dad or whatever, it takes me back to when my daughter was like really, really small doing it. And she's like a little chipmunk. So it's something that I really, really enjoy. It's a great feeling. But don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna lie. I do somewhat enjoy the horror movie feeling as well. Just not a lot. You know what I'm saying? Not like it used to be. I used to watch horror movies every day. But I don't do that anymore. It's only when there's some really good ones. Some of them are just good. And then sometimes you look at one of them horror movies and you be like, you know what? Yeah, I really stepped it up on these deaths. Very creative. And I can give credit to that because I'm a movie guy, which I love movies. Which if y'all haven't been to me and Liz's space on Fridays, Friday Flicks Fix, with me and Liz. It is a good time because it's over a lot of Web3 movies. We do talk about other just Web2 movies, but I really enjoy that at the end of the week on Friday evenings, because it's I get to talk about something that I really enjoy doing, and that's really what's gotten me to start much more more spaces, is because I'm just doing things that I like doing and not caring what other people think about what I'm doing. If some people show up, that's great. If people don't, I guess I'll talk to myself till people do. But I have my space today. I have a space on Friday. I'm gonna get hypes stuff quite bit throughout the week. Do wake and bake on Saturday, and then I'm working on a Saturday night space called the non-smoking section, with us talking about cigars and pairing of alcohol, and we just kind of shooting the shit and people giving a story of how they get started in the life of cigars, and also maybe possibly bringing people in, learning more education about it, because a lot of people think that cigars are like cigarettes, and they ain't even remotely. They're not even on the same planet.
Can I
It's
jump in with you for a sec?
what you got.
Yes, because you're leading in really to my next question to you is what I was curious if you had art or you perform or is it strictly business, which either or is fine. And on a side note, because you're talking about cigars, I have a movie that I'm working on. It's been a lifelong project, and in one scene, in one particular part of it, I'll just give it away. It's called the '60s Show, and it's where welcome to the '60s show, and it feels like yesterday, and everybody's smoking. So it's one of the things where the stigma is about the smoking. I can't stand cigarettes; I hate it, but I smoke weed. But the point is that, um, I want to have another part where everybody smoked years ago. But what you're talking about, that's where if you were say a part of my movie, because eventually I want to find real people, because as I go along I'm in a band that saves the world, and I'm conning my band members on like we got all these shows. I actually keep booking as we go along and like BSing, and so like you could be one of the people, for example, say you're in it and you actually smoke and you have the cigars like you're talking about, but there's a point where in all of my scenes it's always to take the stigmas, and I'll quit shilling myself. Sorry, not here to really shill, but it's to make sure that the stigmas go to a point. So I like how you were talking about educating people. So you could be one of the cigar smokers, for example, and then people really get it and they know that it's not about being intrusive, and there's a different culture, and there's actually a true respectable culture to cigar smokers. Like I remember smoking with somebody um, who knew what they were doing, and like I had to know how to light it and everything. Otherwise, it's like you can't hang out with us, and I understand that.
Bro, you definitely couldn't, because it's everything. That's why I tell people it's an artisan. Like my grandfather used to work for RJ Reynolds. He is a licensed chemist, and he used to help make the chemical compound that went into cigarettes. So he knows what's in it, which is why you shouldn't be smoking it. A cigar is based on the leaf, where it's grown, who cultivated it, the history of that plant. And a lot of good cigars are rolled by hand. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole thing. The cut, how you properly cut it is important. How you light it as well, because you can suck up the gas from your light into the cigar, which will ruin the flavor. There's like three sections of a cigar that break things down for you, like pairing of odd things. Like I like to have a Maduro cigar with chocolate covered pretzels, because the flavor profile is insane. You know what I'm saying? But don't get me don't you know what? You know what? If you want to hear more about the cigar stuff, tune in on Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern for the non-smoking section. I call it that because I think it's funny as shit. Um, wait till y'all see the logo I put out this week, or the poster, the flyer, whatever. It's hilarious to me because the idea just came to me. Even the name came to me, the non-smoking section. That's funny as hell. Cause It's-
It's
all, we,
great.
all we gonna be doing is smoking. So it's,
Oh, it's
it's
incredible, and thank you for that too, because you're right. It's like you're giving a voice where it wasn't. So in a way, it is the non-smoking section, and you're really giving it a voice.
hey, that's all I'm trying to do. Just trying to bring some honesty out here. And
That's my next question to you, by the way. Are you strictly is radio the main point, the radio show for you, or is there any art coupled? And there's no wrong answer. I'm curious.
I haven't gotten into like art and stuff like that. I have a lot of irons in the fire right now. I have some other stuff that's I'm working on dealing with the project that I'm not going to talk about yet until we roll everything out, but it's dealing with web3 and the metaverse and stuff like that too. So yeah, I'm still in it, but I just wanted to try to make shows that had nothing to do with crypto or NFTs or any of that. Is because there is so many of those. It's just nice to have something that is just like regular life type stuff. And
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Sorry to be disruptive.
oh, you ain't disrupted. What you got?
Okay, cool. Yeah, because here's the thing: if my shows pop off, because originally, like I talked about that movie thing, it's because I have a band, and my goal is to perform. And I also audio engineer. I like to do video streaming, all of it. So I kind of have my own little plug and play package. And so this is where, before I lose footing, it's so important for you and what we were just talking about. I just brain farted. I meant to give you something so important. I swear. I want to give it to you. Please, please. But yes, so since you do radio, I'm also, since you're very dedicated to that, that's also a very big plus because aside from the acts, whether it's a musical act or a live performance like theatrical, or really even an artist doing a canvas in real time, and everybody's getting their mint, their broadcast, everybody's distributing to their channels. It's AR, VR friendly, all these things. People getting their motion tracking, a lot of direct marketing, um, hyper sales, flash mob advertising in between. So, with all that being said, you could be, and I'm hoping so, one of the collaborators on that. So, I'm always looking for people in the future. So, if it works out, that's the next thing is you have that one option that a lot of people don't have or a lot of groups don't have is the radio and broadcast style aspect, and look at how you go on and on. It's wonderful, by the way, and I mean that with the hugest compliment. So you could be in between, because that's my goal is I want to see these shows and people who have their shows like yourself, Rilo, IMU TV, and the others, for example, everybody coming together with their networks and being on during the performances and in between the performances, because this is where I want to see a lot of advertisers be able to come in on some that want it. Otherwise, on the last part, and I'm curious if you're interested in this too, this is where separate booths can be made as well, especially IRL. And I'm hoping, like the old cigarette booths of years ago, and I like that we're trashing cigarettes, it makes it great. Instead of it being that, it could be these spaces, for example, and people could actually join these rooms and have something to talk about and something to do in IRL. And I think it would bridge this world to IRL and then give people just something to adapt to if they're not into the music or the art side of it, because people usually love to talk. And so this is where all of you could get exposure to people in IRL too that are just not on spaces. And so, I don't know, what do you think?
Oh no, I think it's a great idea. We're going to definitely talk about it in the back channels because I'm gonna be honest with you. I always wanted to be a podcaster, and I want to be one even more. After I watched Joe Rogan, I was like, "Damn, that shit would be dope to be like a Joe Rogan type, and have a podcast and talk to different people from different walks of life because that's just what I enjoy doing. I enjoy talking to people from different walks of life, and I am I am I have knowledge in a lot of categories. And the only reason is because I have been in rooms that people are scared to be in. But people push me into these rooms because they saw something in me at the time that I didn't see in myself. And my brain just holds on to stuff. So you could say something about one thing and it could be like a year or two later, but I could see something on TV or hear another conversation about something else. And my brain will link both of those conversations together. And then I figured out some more information. So I don't know how the people's brains work, but mine connecting dots works very well. No matter how many years goes by, if that one little key piece falls in the slot, my brain will automatically link it all together, and I might be like swimming or something.
Well, I appreciate your time today, man, and everything you're saying. I need to jump and get some work done. Usually I say nothing and go. But since it's small and there's two of us speaking, I don't think you'll lose anybody for sure.
Nah, you good. I'm about to close the space anyway because I'm supposed to do it from 11 to 11 to noon. But I'm gonna play y'all out real quick. But I will tell y'all, check us out on Friday Flicks Fix with me and Liz. It's gonna be a fun time. We always talk about movies. If you love movies, if you want to learn about what more great movies to watch in Web3, check us out on Friday. Also, don't forget to check out Wake and Bake on Saturday with all my brothers in there. It's gonna be a good time from 1 to 4:20. We have a great conversation. We might be stoners, but we smart about it. And then check me out later that night if y'all like to get a little drink on, get some smoke on with some good cigars on the non-smoking section. I will let y'all know to have a wonderful day. Just go out there and be a good person. And this is Brunch Before Lunch.
Oh yeah.
All the fortune and fame and shine elevate me to brand new heights. I pray on the lows and highs. I'ma wake up.
Black man repeat. Pools play that drive shit. I'ma say that live shit. React lyrically. Run you over like a deer. If you not dear to me, ahead of myself. It's like I'm trying to get near to me. Bull market, bear market. What a kid to be. Dollar bill, digicoin. What you care to see? Me, I like both. Me, I like smoke on a yacht deck. A Wall Street bull to get the concept. Apes together strong. Can't wait to get along on that rocket ship to the moon. Hitch from the bomb. Until then, I'ma see you in the Discord. We getting high and getting rich, y'all.
All the fortune and fame and shine elevate me to brand new heights. I'ma pray on the lows and highs. I'ma wake up and take what's mine. One life, you can see in my eyes. Money all on my mind. Fire burns deep inside. Still I rise. Level up to the sky. So can't go back nights I cried. All the days sacrifice. Yet I still
Never met Steve Jobs, but went to Steve's market right after the school party, finding shit I could rob. Never met Bill Gates, but got billed for the gates. In the landscape as you fly high until you land paper. Then the energy changed. I'm like Neo when Trinity came. You wanna be the one, I wanna be everything. Cause everything is one when you can see everything. I get Jesus deep on a Jesus beat. Why the fuck watch the movie if the prelude's sweet? Look, dog, I'd rather the book, dog. I am plant-based. What I need you to cook for? Fuck you.
all the fortune and fame and shine elevate me to brand new heights. I'ma pray on the lows and highs. I'ma
All right, I will catch y'all later. Y'all have y'all a nice, wonderful week. Peace.
Money all on my mind. Fire burns deep inside. Still I rise. Level up to the sky. Can't go back nights I cried. All the days sacrifice. Yet I still